What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on Pair Gamer, and we have got an exclusive early reaction and analysis of the Nintendo Switch 2. The Direct was just a couple hours ago, and I have got to say, from the bottom of my heart, Nintendo, you outdid yourself. Go take a break, have a beer, relax for a little bit. That was phenomenal. The Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be amazing. I can't wait to get into everything. Let's hop on in right now. All right, folks, welcome back. I watched the Nintendo Direct 2 this morning while I was trying to get the kids ready for school, so I was trying to multitask as best as I could. While I was watching it, I could not help but think, I've been around for every single Nintendo console that has come out. I remember getting the Nintendo, or the original Nintendo, when it came out. This Nintendo Switch 2, I believe, is one of the largest jumps for one of the consoles that has come out in years. From the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo was a massive jump in graphics and gameplay. From the Super Nintendo to the Nintendo 64, again, a massive jump from 16-bit to 64-bit. From the N64 to the Gamecube, to the Wii, to the Wii U, and then to the Switch later on. There have been some very big jumps in the capabilities, the graphics, the gameplay, how the console operated. But I believe from the Switch to the Switch 2 is the largest step and the largest leap that we've had. It was always a joke back in the console wars in the 90s that Sega and PlayStation does what Nintendo don't. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally got to the day where Nintendo does. It's a Nintendo's day because they are doing it right here. 4K, 1080p handheld, 120 frames per second, built-in microphone, capability of connecting a webcam. Nintendo is doing things and took a massive leap to get where they needed to be for having an extremely superior console. It's going to be hard. Obviously, the PlayStation and the Xbox does have very, very good graphics. But the nostalgia and the gameplay that we're going to get on the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be second to none. Let's jump in. All right, before we get into those games, let's talk about some of these graphics. Like I said, 1080p handheld, 120 frames per second. A bigger screen as well, too, in handheld. The magnetic Joy-Cons, which come off and connect very easily. Also, when it's docked 4K, 60 frames per second, that is absolutely incredible considering the thickness is the same size as the Nintendo Switch. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they packed all that goodness in there. I cannot wait to see how this changes what the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to look like for gameplay. All right, here we are in some of the gameplay enhancements for the Nintendo Switch 2. I put a video out a week ago when Nintendo had the Switch Direct, kind of out of nowhere, talking about some of the games. And I talked about my little conspiracy theory. Why did Nintendo only say coming out for the Nintendo Switch? Coming out for the Nintendo Switch. They never said any of those games were going to be for the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. I was very concerned. I highlighted it's about what Nintendo didn't say. Now it makes perfect sense here because Nintendo showed us that the Switch 2 is going to have all of these enhanced capabilities for these games. For Metroid, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, there is going to be so much more that you can do. This feature right here, the handheld Tears of the Kingdom Compendium that gives you Google Maps direction of where you need to go to get a Korok. I absolutely laughed when I saw this. I'm like, it's Siri telling me how to play Tears of the Kingdom. And then something that I have discussed is shareable auto build features. How awesome is that going to be for other creators who make just some of the coolest things in the world to create a QR code and share it with other people as well too? That is something I think is going to be a lot of fun that you guys can help each other out with. Now, am I going to purchase this expansion for the Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence for that one. The graphics enhancement, some of those other little gameplays is not really going to be for me. But again, not every game is for everybody, but every game is going to be for someone. And I really think Nintendo is trying to emphasize that as well. All right, to showcase how good these graphics are going to be, Nintendo showed us two games that are heavy hitters on graphics. And right here, Elden Ring coming out for the Nintendo Switch 2 is really going to showcase how good the graphics can be for this basically handheld console. But this really showcases how good the graphics are going to be. I haven't played Elden Ring 2, or I haven't played any Elden Ring at all, so I am going to hold off so I can play it on my brand new Nintendo Switch 2. All right, here's another showcase for Nintendo Switch. When this little trailer started on the Direct, I didn't know exactly what was this going to be. And then when it got to this point, I knew exactly what we were going to be doing. GoldenEye on the N64 is one of those cult classics. I hope and I cannot wait to see how good Nintendo does for this one. They've got to continue the greatness. And then the moment that everybody was waiting for the Nintendo for this Direct is what Zelda game was going to be released. As soon as they started to show it, we knew it was going to be a Hyrule Warriors. I played Age of Calamity. That was a lot of fun playing with the different characters. Now we have the Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, going back where Zelda and Rauru and everybody's going to be played together in that imprisoning war that we saw in all those Tears memories for Tears of the Kingdom. I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. However, one thing that this does do for all of us Zelda fans is we now know that we've got a while to wait before we get our next mainline Zelda game that is going to follow Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild came out in 2017. Age of Calamity came out in 2020, and then Tears of the Kingdom in 2023. Now in 2025, we've got the Age of Imprisonment. So we know we've probably got 2 or 3 years before our next mainline Zelda game. But there's so much to do now with Tears of the Kingdom and with this game, it's going to be worth the wait. Nintendo, I cannot wait to see what you do for our next huge Zelda game. All right, and something that I kind of had a really sneaking suspicion that was going to happen for the Nintendo Switch 2 was the addition of the GameCube Virtual Console for the Nintendo Online Direct expansion pack. I am looking forward to this. When I saw the Pro Controller and they had the C button on there, I know the C button functionality on the Joy-Cons as well as the Pro Controller was to open up audio options and in-game menu and everything, but I knew that this was going to happen. And what better game to showcase the GameCube expansion is with Wind Waker. I cannot wait to play this. I've been wanting to play it for a while on stream, and I knew that eventually the GameCube is going to come out. The Switch 2 is now going to have it, and we're going to be playing Wind Waker on there. There were some people in chat that I was seeing like, what about Twilight Princess? What's going to go on with that? My feeling and my little sneaking suspicion, if I know Nintendo, is that they are going to wait and they are going to kind of remaster Twilight Princess a little bit. Not like a Link's Awakening or an Echoes of Wisdom, but they're going to give it just a nice, good chef's kiss, polish it up to really enhance some of the features of the Nintendo Switch 2 and release that as its own standalone cartridge, similar to what they did with Skyward Sword. I think that's going to be something that we might see for holiday 2025. We've got a new console that's going to be available, obviously, in June, and then a really huge game to go for the Christmas season. Nintendo always does it. I believe might be Twilight Princess. Let's wait and see, because I cannot wait to play it. One of the things that I'm hoping for is please let the GameCube controller be a little bit more accessible than what the Nintendo 64 controller was. It was very hard to get your hands on that, so Nintendo, release a ton of them. Please let them be available. I cannot wait. But strong work for doing this for the Switch 2. So if you've been around my channel for any time, you know that I do love the Civilization games. Civ 6 was a fun game. It's so fun to play it. I have not gotten the Civ 7 because we've been going through and doing some extreme challenge runs for Tears of the Kingdom. But now I'm not going to play Civ 7 on my computer. No, forget that. I'm playing Civ 7 on the Nintendo Switch 2 utilizing my Joy-Con mouse. Speaking of those Joy-Con mouse, it has been over 30 years since the Nintendo had a mouse functionality, Mario Paint for the Super Nintendo. I got it for Christmas one year, and I remember playing the Fly Swatter game. So now, Nintendo, now that you've got your own native mouse for the console, give us Mario Paint too. We need to kill more flies with the Fly Swatter game. You've got to do it, Nintendo. Some of the other games that they released that were just kind of little teasers was Silk Song. Like, they showed, 2 seconds of that? People have been clamoring for 5-6 years that they've wanted Silk Song, and they showed about 2 seconds of it. We talked about Elden Ring. We talked about Hogwarts, Final Fantasy VII. What other games am I missing that you're looking forward to? I think there's going to be some little hidden gems that I cannot wait to see come out. All right, and one of the final games that was released or at least showcased on the Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2 was the new Donkey Kong game. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. An open world 3D platformer that basically you can destroy anything and everything. This is going to look like a lot of fun, but is this going to be a 101%, 102, 103, 151%? Who knows how much it's going to actually take to complete this game all the way, because it looks like there's going to be so much exploration that you can do in this one. I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a really good addition and a good new game for the Nintendo Switch 2. They close it out with a Kirby game as well too. As soon as I saw that star, I was thinking, is that going to be a Mario Galaxy? Like, what's going to go on with that? And then I quickly realized it was a Kirby. They didn't showcase any Mario game, Mario Maker 3, any other addition for a big mainline game. Those are going to have their own showcases. This was to showcase a little bit of some of the big heavy hitter titles, but mostly for just the Nintendo Switch 2 alone. When they come out with the new Mario game, that's going to be its own direct. Same with the Zelda game as well too. But don't fear, folks, they are going to be coming. June 5th, 2025 is right around the corner. I cannot wait to get my hands on the Switch 2 and play it, and I'm sure you feel the same way. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button, like the video, drop a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite part of the Direct was. Is there anything else that we need to discuss as well too? Well, with that being said, like I always say, we're just trying to change the world one video game at a time. Folks, stay safe, God bless, know who's got your six, and I will see you the next time.